The ball doesn't lie. The ball is the circle. The circle is infinite. The infinite is lies. Our life is a lie. One letter off. What does it mean to believe? What does it mean to live? What word is in the middle of believe? As you tumble, are you humble? Do you know it all? Can you admit that you don't? Do you care to know? Do you care to grow? Do you want to know what's below? No, no, no. Are you of this world or of this world? Are you the pearl or the swine? Be defined and don't whine, just shine.
Welcome back, ballers. Let's get a thumbs up in the chat. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Welcome back, ballers. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on the BalllDontLie channel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is going to be a unique one, you guys. This is going to be a unique one. I can confidently say that there is nobody I know in this community that's about to share with you guys what I'm about to share with you. And it's obviously a touchy subject, pun intended, I guess. I haven't seen a thumbs up in the chat yet, but as we know, sometimes no news is good news. But just want to welcome everybody back. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I wanted to make sure to get this content out as soon as possible, since in the world of the NFL and the opening kickoff game of the 2025-2026 NFL season, there was a lot shared and discussed about the rituals that went on in last night's football game between the Cowboys playing at the Philadelphia Eagles. A big part of it related to the number 4, and we'll touch on some of those things. But as I mentioned, this is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject, a little uncomfortable for some people. Some of you guys might call me a sick puppy for being the one to see this, but the purpose of this presentation is really to show you guys how sick these leagues are and how just immature they are and how they just mock everybody sitting in the stands, paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to go watch this circus on a football field. All while they're mocking you because they can't see it. And in this case, they are doing quite some sexual jokes, if you guys couldn't already see where this is going. So without further ado, I titled this one Spit on That Thing. You guys might remember Hailey Welch having her 15 minutes of fame last year. I believe the video went viral back on June 23rd, 2024. But what I'm going to show you guys is, alongside all of the 44s that we saw last night, shout out Adam the Illusion. He had a great presentation about it being referenced to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the Bible. It's not where I'm going with this one. But without further ado, let's get started. So just to recap, for those that weren't familiar with what went down in last night's game, I don't think I've ever seen so many 44s or 4s or triple 4s in my life. You guys will see that the game was actually postponed or suspended at the 4-minute and 44-second mark in the third quarter due to lightning, which equals 44. But the clock was stopped. The game was stopped with 44 total points scored, where the Eagles had a 4-point lead with 4:44 on the clock. And sure enough, this ended up being the final score of the game of a total of 44 points. And that makes a lot of sense. Think about what happened right before the game. Well, yeah, right before the game, we had Jalen spitting on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. And Jalen Carter is born on April 4th, the date written 4/4. This game was also being played on Beyonce's 44th birthday, who had an album called Cowboy Carter. So we had Jalen Carter spitting on a cowboy on Beyonce's 44th birthday. Shout out to Cody on this one. Also, just be mindful that Dak Prescott wears the number 4. D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. D is also short for dick, right? But he also has 4 number 4s on his jersey, one on the front, one on the back, and one on each shoulder pad. So you have that. So this is just giving you guys some visuals here. 44th birthday of Beyonce. Jalen Carter born on 4/4. The word spit equals 44. Jalen Carter was ejected from the game even before the game started for spitting on Dak Prescott, who has 4 number 4s on his jersey. And sure enough, Jalen Carter, just his name equals 44. So add those to the list. Now, this is where I'm going to segue it to Tuah Girl, Hailey Welch. There's a lot to be said about this, but you know, she had her 15 minutes of fame last year. And as soon as she started making more appearances, if you guys just search Hailey Welch on Google, I mean, I would say 80% of these photos, you see her wearing a cowboy hat. Apparently, she's from Nashville. Apparently, that's where the video was shot when she said, "Hawk Tua, spit on that thing." I don't know if I need to really get into grand detail about what that's referring to, but sure enough, I mean, she was even in Time magazine with her cowboy hat, doing modeling photos with her cowboy hat. Let's not forget what we just talked about with Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, and the cowboy gets spit on. You guys follow me? So this is where it gets really interesting, you guys. These are just a couple more examples. I mean, she was in People magazine with her cowboy hat, on podcasts with her cowboy hat. She's at a Zach Bryan concert with her cowboy hat. I mean, I don't know how many more cowboy connections I can really make with Cowboy Carter, Beyonce, and Hailey Welch. But when we start diving into the numbers and I started doing some research on exactly when this Hawk Tuah video was released, when it was recorded, and really trying to hone in on what Hailey Welch's actual birthday is, that's a tough one. I'll say that right now. There's a bit of conflicting information, but you can only go off of what, you know, these sick fucks are putting out into the world. And I'll just show you guys what I found. So first and foremost, I mean, if you guys think it's a coincidence that Hailey Welch equals 666 on the Sumerian cipher, where A is 6, B is 12, C is 18, etc., with the same phrase of, you know what, right below her name there. Not to mention her friend is holding the back of her neck. Like, it's just so gross. We'll just start there. I mean, pornography is also known as XXX, which breaks down to 666, if you guys didn't know that, because X is the 24th letter. 2 plus 4 is 6, right? So what I uncovered was that this video was filmed in the early hours of June 10th. Okay? June 10th, that's huge. Because June 10th is the date written 10/6 in the majority of the world, right? 106. Well, last night's game was the first game of the 106th NFL football season. The game was also played on September 4th, right? 9/4. Well, simplest cipher, oral sex, 94. Perfect alignment when you consider that it's the 106th NFL season, and the date of this recording before it was released and it went viral was on June 10th, 10/6. Wow. And just look at the wordplay, you guys. I mean, that's the name of my first book. by flipping one letter around, you can see those jokes as well. DAK is one letter off from Dick, isn't it? Dick, DAK, tic tac. So Dick/DAK Prescott gets spit on 9/4, oral sex equals 94 to kick off the 106 NFL season. And the Hailey Welch Hawk Tua video was recorded on 10/6 last year. I already touched on the wordplay with the name DAK. But I understand the difference between these two birds, but just notice that there's a big wing on the side of Jalen Carter's helmet, referencing the hawk, right? Hawk Tua onto DAK Prescott. So this was the most formal publication I can find of Hailey Welch's birthday, July 12th, 2002, which matters because we go back to those 44s. July 12th is the 193rd day of the year, the 44th prime number. The word spit equals 44 in reverse. Perfect. Don't forget about all those 44s. Beyonce's 44th birthday, 44 total points scored in the game, 44 total points scored when the clock stopped at 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third period. But words like degrade equals 44. So does sex acts. These are all in the base ciphers, you guys. So if you just understand A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Break down the double digit values into a single digit and do the same in reverse, then you should understand these ciphers. But degrade, right? I mean, I interpret it in two different ways. I mean, the sexual acts is degrading to women, and spitting on somebody is degrading to anybody, right? Hence why he got ejected from the game before the first snap of the ball. Yeah, and I also just mentioned here in the Latin cipher, it's kind of small, but degrade also equals 106 in Latin/Jewish. And we just touched on those 106s. But for a little more background on exactly where this video stemmed from, it's from a YouTube channel called Tim and D TV. They use the ampersand instead of the word and. And sure enough, Tim and D TV equals 98. So does sex acts, front and back, just like the number that Jalen Carter wears, as he was spitting on DAK, right? As I mentioned, it's the first game of the 106 NFL season. Degrade equals 106. But Tim and D TV also equals 118 in reverse, which matters because this game was being played in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which equals 118, and they were playing against the team from Dallas, Texas, which equals 118. Perfect. Next, we're going to segue to another player. His name is Tua Tagovailoa, or Vailoa. Tua, Hawk Tua. You guys get it? Well, of course, Hailey Welch is seen in Miami wearing a Tua jersey. Oh, ha, ha, ha. So funny. Yeah, yeah. But look at this, you guys. You measure from the date of last night's game back to Tua's birthday on March 2nd. It's 186 days, which matches the gematria of Hailey Welch in reverse, where A is 26, back to Z is 1. I mean, is that a coinkydink? Bueller? In closing, I mean, it makes all the more sense because, you know, if you guys kind of do some research on certain animals and wildlife, that apparently there's only a few of them, but there's a few animals that do apparently engage in intercourse, if you will, for pleasure outside of just for mating purposes. And sure enough, I got this article from A to Z animals.com. They list 7 animals that have sex for pleasure, and sure enough, the first one they list is the dolphin. And I mean, that is essentially what oral sex is, right? staying away from the possibility of reproducing, which leads to a whole other topic. I mean, it's pretty obvious these days that they do not want us reproducing. And in closing, I just thought this was funny. As I was doing my research, just in the top search on Google, there just so happens to be a basketball player named Hailey Welch. This was back in the day, I think 2016, 2017, but her name's Hailey Welch, and she's from Texas. You know, makes me think of the Dallas Cowboys, Texas, all that stuff. But of course, her birthday, September 4th, the date of last night's game. I'm not, call it a reach or whatever. It's, you know, I'm not even tying it back into the rest of my presentation, but I just thought that would be a funny ender to all this. But that's all I had for you guys. You know, I try to keep some of these videos short and sweet, but show me anybody else in this community that had that decode. There's a few TikTok videos I've seen where the thumbnail actually shows the Tuah Girl with this whole spitting thing, but that's as far as it goes. I mean, those TikTok videos too aren't part of our community. They just, oh, Tuah spitting, you know, blah, blah, blah. But hopefully by me breaking down some of these other things too, you guys can really see how fucking sick this is, dude. So for what it's worth, now we got to keep an eye on Tua this year. We'll see what goes on with him this season too. Maybe he gets spit on. I don't know. But anyways, you guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like and sub. If you guys haven't done so already, I do this for you guys to educate. And if there's anything else you guys see with this kind of stuff, please make sure to add it to the comments to help build on this particular narrative, because to me, this was very blatant. But nobody's talking about it. So consider you guys one of few that have eyes to see beyond just, you know, the 44s, which is very important for sure. But clearly Hailey Welch was interconnected with this ritual as well. So anyways, thank you guys again so much. Have yourselves a blessed and safe weekend. Make sure to take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace, ballers.